is getting cold. Winter is coming. But here we are in the Chevy Blazer EV SS. So this is the top dog Blazer that you can buy, fully loaded. It's got everything in it. This makes 615 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. Exact same numbers as the Cadillac Lyriq V. So basically this is like an affordable Cadillac Lyriq V. And speaking of affordable, this is $73,000 here in Canada and starts at about $62,000 in the US. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but it is pretty hard to find a car that makes 600 horsepower in this price range. Now, let's talk about the basics here. 102 kilowatt hour battery. It's capable of 190 kilowatt fast charging. It'll get you about 302, 303 miles of range, which is about 455 to 480 kilometers of range. A lot of different numbers online, and it's definitely gonna be worse in the cold here. But when I charged this to 100%, it said I could get 488 kilometers of range. Now, yes, you're seeing these crazy red seats behind me. This is called Adrenaline Red. This is a very, very vibrant red. I have a vehicle with a red interior, as my personal car, Mazda 3, but it's a much more subdued red. It's not in your face. This is very, very intense. There are two different interiors you can get with the Blazer EV SS, and I'd probably opt for the other one. It's like a gray suede. It's got some orange accents throughout. But hey, if you like red interiors, this is very red. So what makes this the SS? Well, the Blazer EV is available in front-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. So there was a rear-wheel drive RS trim in 2025, but for 2026, they have removed that from the lineup. So now you can only get front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The SS is all-wheel drive. It's a dual motor setup. It comes with massive 22-inch rims, 6-piston Brembo brake calipers up front. They're massive. They're in kind of like a goldy bronze finish. They look cool, but you can't really see them that well because of the way the rims are designed. But anyways, those are huge brakes, and you need them because this thing weighs almost 6,000 pounds. Now, this Blazer EV SS is capable of 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and here's me launching it yesterday. And this is my genuine first reaction to launching. So I genuinely have not launched this vehicle all week. I've had it for about 5 days. I haven't done it yet. It's been pretty crummy out, a lot of snow. This doesn't have winter tires on it, so I haven't really been pushing this vehicle at all. Let's try launching it. I'll throw it into sport here, and then we have wide open Watts mode, so I'll put that on. Get this cool sound effect that plays. And let's see how this feels. It's probably gonna make me really dizzy, but let's try it. All right, brake pedal down, foot to the floor, but let's see. Oh my goodness, a little bit of slippage. Woo! Wow, everything is flying in the car. All right, everything went flying in here, but the Chevy Blazer EV SS can hit 60 miles per hour in about 3.4 seconds. That is BMW M4 competition territory, and this thing weighs like 6,000 pounds. Okay, so take a look at this interior because there's a lot of different shapes going on. I've got this massive 17.7 inch touchscreen, and I have to say it works seamlessly. It does not glitch, it does not lag. It works great. Then you have an 11-inch driver's display, which has a couple different designs that you can cycle through here. You can throw your entire Google Maps up there as well, which is cool. And then this is for your Super Cruise. Really nice blend of physical controls and digital controls. Heated seats and ventilated seats are gonna be done through the screen, but your fan speed can be done with a physical control and your temperature can be done with a physical control. Really like that. A lot of electric cars do not offer that, so thumbs up Chevy, I like that. Really big circular vents. They light up at night with the ambient lighting, and you've got a bunch of different colors you can choose from. In terms of changing your drive modes, you just go into the screen here, and then you got normal, sport, snow, ice, my mode, and Z mode. And if you want to turn on wide open Watts, you just press this button. You get this big bass sound effect. And you can leave this on as long as you want. It's not like a 10-second boost or anything. It can be on all the time. It's just gonna drain your battery really fast if you leave it on. In Z mode, you can change a bunch of different things. You've got steering, brake feel, acceleration, motor sound, competitive mode. And when you turn competitive mode on, it will turn traction control off. So I want to pause again. It says traction control off, but in reality, it doesn't completely turn off. So we've got the Google Play Store and you can download all kinds of apps. I downloaded YouTube just now, and I've got the sprint race highlights going on from the F1 race in Qatar. I don't know when I'm posting this video, but right now it's November 2025. Now, obviously, I wish this had Apple CarPlay. And that Lyriq I drove in the spring had Apple CarPlay, but I know going forward they're getting rid of it. Anyways, I guess if you log into all your apps, it's fine. It's just texting is kind of annoying without Apple CarPlay. I always use Google Maps when I have Apple CarPlay, so it's right here, so that doesn't matter. And it works so well, it's super smooth. There's no lag happening here. This has a 360 camera. You got a top-down view and then a couple different camera views you can pick from the side, overhead, standard. Now, when I first got in the vehicle, I was like, where's the on button? How do I turn this thing on? Well, you don't have to. You just press the brake, you throw it into drive, and you're good to go. There's no on-off button. You can turn the car off from the screen right here. You just hit vehicle off if you just want to turn it off while you're sitting in it. But as soon as you open that door and lock it, this car turns off. Now, I've got a big Chevy steering wheel with the blacked out Chevy logo and the SS badge down here with red stitching throughout. You got your Super Cruise light up here too, and you control all your Super Cruise stuff on the left side. There's also a button on the left side, like a paddle shifter, and it's for your regen braking. You can press this and it'll bring the car to a stop. Now, this also has a rear view mirror camera, which I love having a rear view mirror camera in a car. And it also has a massive heads-up display, which I find a little hard to look at night. The driver's side has 2 memory seats, the passenger side does not, but both seats are powered and they both have lumbar support. Now, quickly in the middle here, we've got lots of storage. You can throw something down here. Got a little compartment here with 2 USB-Cs. It's pretty deep. Then you have 2 cup holders, wireless charger, and another big center console that's decently deep as well. So at the front end of the Chevy Blazer EV SS, I think it looks pretty sharp, literally, but it does look really good, I think. I like this big blacked out grille. However, I will say that's gonna get scratched up pretty bad, especially if you're on the highway a lot. Stuff's just gonna ding this and scratch it. Piano black doesn't last very long inside a car, definitely not on the outside either. Now you've got a LED light bar that spans across the front end here, and it has a cool welcome animation. It'll do it every single time you come to the vehicle. But essentially, these are your daytime running lights, and then right down here is where your actual headlights are. You've got an SS badge here, and then you've got this aero kit around the vehicle in this gray color. Now at the side profile, it looks very wagon-like, which is kind of cool. I like wagons. However, it's not like the Blazer you remember from the past. It's quite a different vibe. Now, on the passenger side, this does not open up to be a charging port. Your charging port is over here on the driver's side. You press these 2 lines, and then it opens up like this. I'm not always a fan of charging ports having all these sort of mechanisms going on because this will just break, but there's your charging port. And then to close it, you just press this button here. Now, this Blazer EV SS has a black toned roof. So it's a 2-tone color. You got the red down here and then a black roof. And it's quite a funky design, actually. See, the windows kind of get smaller and smaller as you go to the back, but it's not bad. So obviously this is the SS, so it's going to be a little bit lower to the ground. It has about 7.5 inches of ground clearance, which is about half an inch less than a regular Blazer. Now we've got a blacked out Chevy logo. We've got the Blazer nameplate here with the E in blue, obviously to signify electrified. And then we've got all-wheel drive and another SS badge. And then the aero kit continues around back here with the gray and black tones. Okay, so it's that part of the video where we look at your design approval of the vehicle, and well, this surprised me a lot. We got 409 votes in between Instagram and YouTube when I cut it off. The votes keep going, but I have to pick a time when I just stop it because I gotta get this video out. But anyways, 409 votes and 49% of you approve of the design on the Blazer, and that is a very 50-50 split. You either love it or you hate it. I'm pretty surprised by that. Now, last year for the Lyriq, you gave that a 73% approval rating. So that's a pretty big difference between the two. I didn't really, I'm confused a bit. But anyways, that is your opinion. Okay, so to get this trunk open, you just kind of walk at the back here. It starts to sense you. You put your I don't know if you have to put your foot underneath, but it just opens like that. So cargo capacity back here is 25.8 cubic feet behind the second row. Once you throw that second row down, you get 59.1 cubic feet. It's a very large second row, and that's kind of why it's a bit smaller back here, but it's still pretty decent, pretty usable space. There's not a whole lot to do back here. There's no plugs or anything, just two lights really. There is a little bit of extra storage underneath here. And sorry, my hands are freezing, so it's hard to do this, but there you go. You can put some more groceries down there. Now to get the seats down, you just press this button here, and they fold pretty flat. Now the SS is not rated to tow. The other trims can tow 1,500 pounds. The rear wheel drive that doesn't exist for 2026 was able to tow 3,500 pounds. So one of the big benefits to the Blazer in general is a very spacious second row. You've got a lot of leg room here. You could easily fit a baby seat back here. You've got two big vents, two USB-Cs, and 3 increments of heated seats on both sides, obviously not the middle. Got a flat floor, easy to shuffle between seats if you have to. I will say my head feels like it's pretty much touching if I lean back here. And there seem to be 2 increments of recline. The seat comfort, it's fine. It's not spectacular. And then you do have 2 cup holders back here. This panoramic roof is quite nice. Nothing else really to see back here. Well, I couldn't have picked a more dull, bleak day to film this video on. At least we've got this vibrant red inside here to cheer us up. Basically, I'm about to run out of sunlight, so I'm keeping the camera back there. I'm not going to throw it up here because I think it's a little more interesting for you, the viewer, to see where I'm going instead of just staring at my face while I drive. All right, so what are some key things you need to know about the drive of the Chevy Blazer EV SS? Well, obviously, very fast. It takes off like a rocket ship. How about handling? Well, it feels very heavy, but it does track pretty well. The steering is pretty direct, but it definitely feels like you wouldn't want to push much faster around corners. It feels pretty heavy, to be honest. Now, regardless of what mode you're in, the steering is on the heavier side, but it's pretty direct. Like, as you can see here, the vehicle moves. There's a lot of body roll when you do that. But in terms of stiffness, obviously 22-inch rims, you're going to feel all the bumps in the road. When it comes to like bigger bumps, it does handle that pretty well, but you do feel all the little jitters in the road because of these ginormous rims. Overall, visibility around the vehicle, no issues. You got this rear view mirror camera that really helps with any sort of blind spots, to be honest. There's a window back there too that you can see out of. I've had no issues with blind spots this week. No problems. Now, I wish I had driven the RS to compare it directly to this SS, because the whole time I was driving this, I kept thinking, do you really need all this power in a vehicle like this? But when you look at the price difference, roughly 7,000 US or about 8,000 Canadian, it's actually not that crazy. For that bump, you're getting a big jump in power, stiffer suspension, better charging capability, and some more aggressive styling. And when you zoom out and look at the market, the Cadillac Lyriq basically starts at around where this thing tops out. When you compare this to something like the Tesla Model Y Performance, this has more power technically, but they both accelerate to 60 miles per hour at the same rate. That's because the Blazer just weighs so much more. Now, during my week with the Blazer EV SS, I probably put about 500 to 600 kilometers on it and spent around $91 in charging. So obviously, if you were to compare that to a V8 with 600 horsepower, that's pretty inexpensive comparatively speaking, and I probably put more kilometers on than the average person would in a week. And if you have a home charger, well, it'll be much more cost effective. When it comes to the charging speeds, around 95 kilowatts is the max I ever get at the Joule charger near me, even though it advertises 200 kilowatt speeds. The cold also doesn't help. Now, I did experience some glitching when charging. The vehicle experienced an error, but after restarting and plugging back in, the error went away. And I don't know if that was the car or if that was the charging station. The biggest positives, the acceleration is ridiculous. That is the big party trick here. You will never struggle merging onto a highway ever. Super Cruise, it's awesome. It makes the whole highway experience so much better. Styling wise, I think it looks good. It's aggressive enough without trying too hard. The interior is kind of cool, it stands out, and it doesn't feel boring. As for the negatives, you can really feel the mass of the weight around corners. I noticed a few rattles here and there. Cargo space with the seats up is a bit tight, and the lack of CarPlay, that's still a questionable move to me. I just think people should have the option, let drivers use what they prefer. Overall, this thing is quick, and I really like that they kept the physical controls, and I really like Super Cruise. But whether you really need the SS over the RS, that's probably the real question. If you have an RS or a different trim of the Blazer, let me know how it feels in terms of acceleration. I'd love to hear from you. Anyways, if you like this video, please subscribe, and we'll see you soon.